We all have that one story, the one we thought was love, the one we swore we'd never forget. But then, somewhere in the quiet moments after it ended, a different feeling surfaced. Something uncomfortable, almost painful. The quiet whisper that asks, maybe it wasn't love at all. And that realization can hit harder than the heartbreak itself, because it means admitting the story we told ourselves was just that, a story. Today we're looking at two subtle, powerful signs that you weren't actually in love with a person, but only with the idea of them. The first sign, you loved the fantasy more than the person. The human mind is a master storyteller, and sometimes what we call love is just a beautiful narrative we've built, brick by brick. We don't fall for them, we fall for our version of them. Think back. Did you spend more time imagining the future than living in the present?
Did you project potential onto them, filling in their empty spaces with your own hopes and dreams? If the person who existed in your daydreams felt more real, more perfect than the one standing right in front of you, you weren't in love. You were in a dream. And dreams, no matter how intoxicating, always end when reality interrupts. This leads directly to the second sign. You were afraid to see their flaws. Real, enduring love sees the whole person. Not the performance, not the highlight reel, but the messy, complicated human being. If you found yourself actively avoiding their imperfections, dismissing red flags with a quick, "It's fine, they'll change," that wasn't acceptance. It was fear. Fear of losing the fantasy you worked so hard to build. Fear of being alone. Fear of the monumental task of starting over. But here's the truth about a genuine connection. Flaws don't scare you away. They don't shatter the image because there is no perfect image to shatter. Instead, they just make the connection deeper, more human. When you love a fantasy, you protect it at all costs. You turn away from anything that threatens the perfect picture. But when love is real, it's not about preservation, it's about growth. Partners in a genuine bond don't just tolerate flaws, they actively help each other become their ideal selves. Not an ideal you've invented for them, but the person they aspire to be. It's the difference between passionate infatuation, that intense, short-lived high of the perfect story, and companionate love. The deep, steady affection that knows you, flaws and all, and chooses to stay. Realizing you were never in love isn't a failure. It's an awakening. It's a painful but powerful moment of clarity. It allows you to stop mourning a person who never really existed and start understanding what true connection feels like. Love isn't a fantasy to escape into. It's a reality to be built together. And that is always, always worth waiting for. There's a quiet magic in being truly understood by someone. You can sit together in total silence and still feel completely seen. It's a feeling of rest, of safety, a sense that you can finally put down your armor. But then there's the other feeling, the one where the silence is heavy because you're busy running lines in your head, where you're constantly editing your own thoughts, calculating the right response, trying to be the most charming, most perfect, most impressive version of yourself. You weren't in a relationship. You were in a perpetual audition for a role you were desperate to land. Every conversation was a performance. Every vulnerability was a risk you couldn't afford. If you ever found yourself hiding parts of who you are, your anxieties, your nerdy hobbies, your past scars, your actual unfiltered opinions, that connection wasn't built on truth. It was a carefully constructed mask. And the tragedy of the mask is that even if it succeeds, even if they fall in love with it, they haven't fallen in love with you. They've fallen for a character you've created. Real love has no interest in the character. It doesn't want the polished version you spent years crafting. It wants the messy, complicated, beautifully imperfect person underneath. It wants you. And if you were playing a part, it makes a painful kind of sense that when the show is over, you miss the production more than your co-star. This might be the hardest realization of all. When the relationship ends, take a moment. Be honest with yourself. What do you actually miss? Is it them? Or is it the story you were writing together? You miss the soundtrack you built, that playlist of songs that now feels unplayable. You miss the future you had mapped out, the trips, the holidays, the imagined milestones. You miss the simple architecture of the routine, the good morning texts, the shared Netflix queue, the person to tell about your day. You miss the identity, being someone's partner. But when you really dig deep, past the nostalgia and the loneliness, do you miss the person? The real one? The one with their own set of flaws you tried to ignore? The one whose life was running on a track parallel to yours, but maybe never truly intersected? And that's the gut punch. The moment you understand that you weren't mourning a person, you were mourning a possibility. You were in love with a beautiful, elaborate, heartbreaking ghost of what could have been. So what do you do with this truth? Do you label yourself foolish, delusional, a failure at love? No, absolutely not. It simply means you're human. It means your heart and its desperate search for connection did the best it could with what it had. It tried to build a home out of a blueprint. It means you cared enough to try, even if the foundation was fantasy. And the gift of this painful clarity is that now you know. Now you can feel the difference between a spark of intensity and the steady warmth of real intimacy. You can choose a connection that feels like coming home, not one that feels like a constant performance. You learn to value truth over the most beautiful illusion. Because you understand that real love isn't a story you create in your head, hoping someone else will fit into the starring role. It's a story you live out loud, discovering every line together.